Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. And I know people may trickle in or may just watch this on the recording, and that is fine either way. But we are kicking off the January cohort for the Takeoff with TaxDome Bootcamp. We have about 15 or so members taking part in this, or boot campers taking part in this 4-week session. So we're really excited to have everyone in here and just doing what needs to be done to get TaxDome up and running. I know we're kind of jumping into tax season right now, so it's as good a time as any to really just make it happen. So this is going to be really short. I'll try and keep it as brief as possible, but what we wanted was just to take a little bit of time to make sure that everyone is oriented into what this is going to look like. If they haven't already gotten, or if you haven't already gotten into school, which is where we house our membership, I want to make sure we walk through all of that. And if you have any questions, definitely let us know. So the goal for today is really to help you just make sure you know how to navigate the program so that you can make the most out of the 4 weeks or so that you guys have inside this boot camp. So it is an accelerated boot camp. There is a lot going on, and we want to make sure that you are set up for success as you dive in. So if you want to turn on your cameras, that would be great. No worries. If not, we'd love to know where everybody, if anyone, if you could travel anywhere, where would it be? We're going to stick with our takeoff theme here. And just to let you know, like any questions that you have, throw them in the chat. You can unmute yourself as well. If you're watching the recording of this and you have questions, feel free to post inside of the community or email Ashley and I at hello@CapInMaine as well. So we'll get to it pretty quickly here. It's just me today. I'm Katie Toscano. I am half of Cabot in Maine. So my business partner, Ashley, is not on today, but we are both certified TaxDome consultants, and we have over 15 years working in accounting and operations. We started together actually in the corporate world, and then we formed our business. I keep thinking it's 4 years ago, but I guess it was about 3 years ago. And we've worked with, at this point, hundreds of small business owners, medium-sized business owners, to help them either directly with their accounting or now to help them as we really help you get your operations, your systems, your workflows, all of those things up and running. Specifically, we work with TaxDome. We do work with other systems as well, but we are huge fans of this program. After seeing everything that it can do, all of the amazing benefits that it's been able to bring to our clients. And we are huge fans of specifically the workflows and automations because they're pretty awesome. So we created this boot camp because we work one-on-one with a lot of our clients and helping them build out their TaxDome, but not everyone wants to do that. Sometimes they want to be able to do it on their own. So this boot camp really helps give you that, straightforward, here's exactly what you need to make that happen. And that's why we're here today. So I know for many people, they actually started this or jumped in maybe back in November through the Black Friday offer or in December. And so maybe you've already had a chance to go in and get started. And if not, that's totally fine too. But I know some people just had a little bit of extra time in there. So if you haven't already, and today is your first day and you're diving in and getting started, here are some things that you can do right away. So you're going to head into school. School is the program. Hopefully you can see it. I have it on my screen. I'll show it in a second. So we have the program school. That's where we house everything. So all of your templates, all of your training materials, all of your videos, your implementation plan, all of that are going to be inside school. And I'll show you where in just a second. You have access to everything inside of the 4-week program right away. So you can download it all up front inside of school. We do have weekly live sessions. I'll show you where you can find all of those, but if you got here, you probably already know where. They're all scheduled out on the calendar. If you can't join them live, that's totally okay. We do record all of them and then share them back with you as well. And even if you have a question that you really want us to cover, you can also submit that question to us. And even if you can't join that session live, you can either hold off until the next one, or we can actually record an answer and send it back to you as well. So don't feel like just because maybe you can't join one particular live session, you're going to miss out. It's fine. You can plan on submitting those and we'll get you the answer that you need as well. And we also have the community. So if you have some kind of question that you want to get others' input on, we have the community feature that you can utilize as well. So in the 4-week program, there are weekly guided sessions. So you'll see them laid out week 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can use those sessions, follow along for the specific trainings, and again, those templates, and there's going to be specific actions for you to take in your implementation guide every week. Some people like to work a little bit faster. That's okay. If you do want to work ahead, that's totally up to you. But the way it's laid out is basically to help you do this in a 1 month or 4-week period. I think we have a little more than 4 weeks for this one. I forget the exact date, but the goal is to really break that down in manageable amounts of work, because we know you're doing a lot of things at once, so that you can get that all accomplished in these 4 weeks. We do ask that you submit to us every week your progress. And the reason we ask for that is accountability is really useful in this case, right? As you're trying to get things done, we're your accountability partners in helping you to accomplish that. So you can just send us an email, send us a screenshot of your implementation guide, your project plan, to show us what you've been able to accomplish, or just say, hey, here's the things I was able to accomplish this week. That accountability really helps to keep you motivated and also to be accountable to someone else. Anytime you're talking about it out loud, you're more likely to actually be doing the things too. So the goal of that is really just to help you with that motivation and accountability. And then I already mentioned it, but we do have the community feed, which I'll show you in a second. You can share any questions, your wins, anything that you want to post. It's very similar. If you're on Facebook, it's very similar to a Facebook group, but it is private with just our membership and bootcamp members. So it's just specific to TaxDome users as well. So that is how it's going to start. Those are the kind of core functions. But one, or actually two things I wanted to really highlight here are the community and the calendar. So the community aspect of this is definitely one of the core features, right? You have each other in this boot camp. I told you there's about 15 or so. And then we also have our broader tax tech members that are in the same community, all TaxDome users. So we do have that community there for you to ask questions of, participate in any sort of discussions, all those types of things. There's an app for school on your phone. So if you don't already have the app, it makes it really easy to just stay plugged in on what's going on, especially as people are really kicking off tax season, you know, trying to just understand where everyone's at, what questions people have. That is a great feature of this program as well. I have a 10-year-old daughter who loves to help me in my business, and she created with me a special Spotify playlist. So it is, you can search for it if you're on Spotify. It's called Takeoff with TaxDome. She would love to know that people are listening to that. It's a bunch of travel inspired music, I guess. But aside from that, so the way that we work together inside the community, we have the weekly check-ins that I mentioned. We have where you can share a win or ask a question inside the community. We do have those weekly live sessions. I'm going to talk in a minute about what those look like. And then we also have a bonus training scheduled for January, I think it's the 17th. That's a training for your team. So there's some bonuses inside of there as well. And then if you didn't know this already, you also have access to our full membership for the month that you're in here. So there is a full training course on all things TaxDome that you have access to as well. I'm going to show you that in a second as well. So going back to those live weekly sessions, these are kind of whatever you want, to be honest. We will take any questions that you have. You can submit them beforehand. You can even send us, if you want, like a screenshot or a loom of, you know, something that that's causing you some issues or whatever. inside your pipeline, or you can just join the call live and we can talk about whatever questions you have live. But the goal of it is to, one, answer any questions that you have, answer them live. We can talk through them. We can also talk about best practices. If you're like, hey, I really want to get this one piece automated, or this isn't feeling like it's working really well, what's something we can do different? And we can problem solve and figure out a better way to do things. We also will bring live topics. If there's something new being released inside TaxDome, we'll bring that also to those calls to make sure that you have any changes that are going on and we can talk through those. And really, again, it's just an opportunity for you to stay accountable, to say, okay, here's week 1. What are we working on? What are we accomplishing? Here's week 2, same thing. So to really help you keep on track, answer your questions, and problem solve. So I highly encourage you to go into the calendar tab. I'll show you that in a second, and add all of those to your calendar. I know you can't always necessarily join them. There's other things going on, but we'll record those again as well. All right, and here is that calendar I mentioned. I'm just going to go in live and show you that in a second. And here's our email address right here, hello@cabotandmain.com. So you also will have, if you haven't already seen, inside of the membership, the ability to message us as well. You can message either myself or Ashley in there too. So let's head over into school. So I believe we have someone that just joined today. Dorley, that might be you. And we'll add you in there in a second. So what this looks like inside school, if you haven't already seen it, is when you first go in, here's our community tab. This is where it really does look very similar to a Facebook group. And we'll have some things pinned here at the top, but you are welcome to go in and you can put whatever question that you have, you title it. It does require you to select a category. So if you have a question, you can select that, or if it's just kind of general, you can choose that. And you can post whatever you want in there. And you'll see, this is where you can go in and you can see, some of the other comments, and you can kind of do a search to see what else is going on. So any questions that you have about TaxDome or even the membership, feel free to post those in here inside of the community. If you feel like you'd rather keep it, private, or you don't want to put it in there, that's totally fine. You have this chat feature right here, and you are welcome to message us through there too. If we move on into the classroom, oh, it looks like mine paused. Okay. Oh, it sounds like, okay, you guys weren't seeing that. I'm sorry. Okay, let me try that again. Thank you for letting me know. I'll show it to you again too. It's pretty quick. I don't know about you guys. I have about 20 million tabs open on my desktop at any time. Makes me feel very inefficient, but I can't help it. Okay. Is everybody seeing my school tab now? Maybe give me like a thumbs up or something in the chat, so I know that that you guys are able to see it, but hopefully that's working now. Great, awesome. Okay, so here, we'll do that again. So here's school, if you haven't already been in. Okay, here is the screen I was talking about that kind of looks like a Facebook group. If you haven't been in there, this is where post anything that you want to post a question about or ask or whatever. You can see it's a little different than a Facebook group. You have to title it, and then you can post your question. And there's some general categories. You typically will choose either Q's, which is questions, or general discussion. And it's pretty straightforward. You can just use this. And then you can also, if you want to send us a message, here's your chat function too. And this, we encourage you to engage with each other and, just ask your questions and help get them answered, whatever works for you. But that is a feature that you definitely have that access to. So this is where I wanted to point a couple of things out. So when you first come in, if you haven't already, start with this welcome start here. It's a really short video, just kind of orienting you to some of the same things here, but just helps you get started on the right foot. Then there are two things you have access to in here. the main thing is this 4-week boot camp. This is what you've all signed up for. This is what you are here for. I'm going to show you this first, and then I'll go into the other thing. So what you will see in here is how it's broken down into the weeks 1 through 4 and a couple of additional bonuses, if you will, or just things in here. But what you'll do is you'll start here, and there's going to be subsections. There's going to be short videos for most of these. This is where you'll be able to go in and get your tax prep pipeline templates and your implementation guide here as well. Once you've downloaded or viewed all those things, then this week, today's Tuesday, if you haven't already, then you can get started on your deep dive trainings. Next week, that's where you're actually going to go in and build your pipeline. So that's where you'll pull your templates, and it's going to walk you through how to set that all up. What I will say is for the deep dive trainings, we didn't choose all the trainings in the world because we wanted them to be really focused on what you need. Having said that, if you feel like there's a training where like, I really need to understand how to do X, Y, and Z, let us know and we will make sure that you get that. We just didn't want to overwhelm you by putting too much in there. So it's very focused on what we believe that will be the most helpful for you. But again, you're welcome to request any other ones. But you'll see how it just walks you through each of those 4 weeks, all the way up until kickoff and sending things out to your clients to make sure that you guys can basically hit go and you're moving along in tax season. So that is how the setup inside of the classroom is for your 4-week boot camp. Now, as a bonus to this, if you didn't already know this, you do have access to our full course. This is our TaxDome Accelerator course. This is like the A to Z, everything that you need, for the entire TaxDome. We have a lot of other templates in there, some advanced trainings. No, Wendy, you do not need to do this prior to this call. You can get started now. So or anytime this week. The goal with week 1 is just to do it all, is to do everything in there this week. So by like Friday, and then everything else, week 2 will be next week. So you're good to go. So inside the TaxDome Accelerator course, this is dripped out to you, meaning that you will get every week access to additional trainings inside this course. And on, I believe it's week 4, this is where you would actually get additional templates. So in addition to your tax prep ones, if you wanted to go in the last week of your boot camp, you're going to have access to some additional templates here as well. I don't want you to get distracted by those. These are nice to haves. They are additional resources for you, but there is a lot there. You're here for the 4-week boot camp. I highly suggest you really focus on what's in here. And then if you have, not if you have time, I do recommend going in and looking at the additional trainings and things like that as they're dripped out to you. But again, that's more of like a bonus. This is really what you need to get your tax prep pipeline up and running, and it's easy to get distracted. So I would just say as much as you can focus on this and then check this out for additional resources, etc. And then just know that if you did want to continue on and go through the whole course and have access to this after the boot camp, there is an option at the end of the 4 weeks where you're welcome to stay inside the membership for our founders rate. It's $47 a month. So no pressure to join that. Just know that you do have that option if you do want to stay plugged in and engaged and have access to all of this on an ongoing basis after your 4 weeks. Okay, so that's our classroom. The one other key area I wanted to share with you was the calendar. So hopefully, because you're all here, you've seen this, but we have all the trainings laid out for the next 4 weeks. You can see your live ones. We do structure them in a way because we have people from all over the world, but even for this one, which is a little more US or Canada based, we have times to meet the different time zones. So we have some that will be earlier and then some that will be a little bit later in the afternoon. So hopefully you can plan ahead. These are mostly in the time frame. We're in California, so we're in the Pacific time zone, but so keep that in mind when you're looking at this right now. but we do try and keep them, different times to meet everyone's needs as much as possible. And again, we'll record these. But one thing to note is if you go in and you click on the one like for Thursday, for example, you can actually add it to your calendar if you have one of these options here, and then it'll save all of that as well as the Zoom link there. So that's a nice feature just to block your time off and you have it on there. You can go in today, right now, and go add all of those to your calendar. And it's going to have your Zoom link. And then this is where if you did have some questions you wanted to submit, you can submit them here. Again, you can provide a Loom or screenshot or anything that's helpful if you want to. And then you also can just show up live and ask your questions live as well. But if it is something maybe more complex, or maybe you want us to review something, this would be really helpful for us to have some time to review it before jumping on the live call. And then again, if you cannot join it live, you can still submit them and we will review them and respond. So don't feel like if you can't join live, you're not going to get your questions answered. So I just talked a lot, but that is kind of all the key things that we wanted you to know. Again, go in if you haven't already, start here and then jump on over. And it's going to walk you through, once you jump over to the 4-week boot camp inside the classroom, it's going to walk you through exactly what you need to really get up and running. So that is all that I have for you, but I know we have a few minutes here. So I want to open it up and see, you can either post them in the chat. I've got it up here, or if you want to unmute yourselves and ask any questions, I'm going to stick around on here for the next 5 minutes or so. So you're welcome to ask any questions that you might have. And if not, thank you guys so much. We're so happy to have you guys here. We're really looking forward to helping you get up and running in the next couple of weeks and get going in tax season. And if you don't have questions, you're welcome to jump off as well. And hi, hey, I think hopefully I'm saying that right, Dorley. I know that you, I believe, just joined today as well. So feel free. I know it's kind of fast, but if you do have any questions about it, feel free to ask away too.
Yeah, it's a little bit. I'm trying to open my camera here.
Oh yeah, no, that's okay. No worries if not.
Um, it is a little bit confusing. So we're gonna have training once a week.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna, and for how long?
So those are 1 hour. So the live sessions are 1 hour.
Okay.
Yeah, there is
And
a bonus training that we have scheduled for the 17th for next week. It's just an extra bonus to you, but these are the live sessions that are scheduled right here for 1 hour.
okay, and I'm gonna be able to see that on the portal.
Yeah, on the
Portal. Yeah,
calendar.
calendar.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm still pending. So
Oh yeah. I figured that's probably you, right? Okay. Yep.
I'm still pending. And because it was asking me for my bio, I'm like, oh, but I'm already late. So I just,
No, that's fine.
okay.
Yeah, you're in there. You're in there now. So um,
Okay.
yeah, thank you for joining in. I know it
It
was
was
jumping
well,
in right in.
yeah, Anna, she's a member too. And she told me, they're starting the training today. I just spoke, text her.